कोई जो मिला तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था जैसे मेरी सारी दुनिया में गीतों की रुत और रंगों की बरखा है, खुशबू की आंधी है, महकी हुई सी अब सारी फिजाएं, बहकी हुई सी अब सारी हवाएं. Hi, this is Shankar Mahadevan. Welcome to my studio. For me, music is an ongoing journey, not only about singing and composing music, but it's also about learning every day. You know, inspiration, ideas, and melodies, they strike at the most undecided moments. Today, if I sit and say, hey, I'm going to create the most amazing tune over here, today may be the most horrible tune you compose, but you're stuck in the traffic jam, you're boarding a flight, and this melody suddenly comes to you. That is when you need technology to leverage that moment, because the faster it comes, the faster it goes. In today's day, you don't need 100 people to play everything together. They used to do that because of lack of technology. I'm working with international musicians and we record, comfortably, and they are playing there, we are recording over here. You don't even lose one single KB of data. Performance is communication. A performer communicates to his audience with music. If you have a beautiful voice, it needs to be captured beautifully through technology. For me, technology is built for performance.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Skyesports Streamers Showdown presented by AMD, powered by Ruchir. We are back here in day 2 for the action of the league stages. My name is Lucifer and along with me it's going to be Inferno back here on desk, and we are about to have some fun. I mean, yes, there are streamers, but you saw how these streamers are playing, right, Inferno? I want to ask you on that. What do you think is going to be happening on day 2 with these streamers going all guns blazing?
First of all, thanks for the warm welcome, Lucy. And we are here with the second day. Yeah, of course, we have seen teams just fighting it out and showing their domination and showcasing their one of the best strategies and their presentation in the game, right? So maybe day 2 is just full of booms. There will be a lot of things, but before than that, we'll be having a look of the schedule of day number 2 of league stages. That's going to be the first match of Erangel, and Group A versus Group V will be competing in the first match.
I mean, schedule, it's going to be same, right, Inferno? There's no changes in terms of the matches, the maps being played, so no confusions over there. But how are the groups going to be performing in these respective matches? As we said, every group on every particular day has 4 maps to play, 4 matches to play, and when they play these matches, they have to make sure they have the number of points where they can get to qualify into the grand finals, because that's where the huge chunk of the prize is at stake, and the title as well. So I'll be looking forward to it, who's going to be doing it better. But Inferno, Erangel, to start things off again, A and B, top 16 teams. There are teams who are in the third page, who are at the brink of being eliminated. Do you think they'll be putting up a brilliant performance as we rightly jump into Erangel?
Yeah, absolutely. They will be trying their level best to come on the second page or else on the first page. Yeah, we were Raider and we were talking about in the day number 1 in the last match that how they're gonna be making the comeback in day number 2. And today is that day. It is day number 2, and starting off the first match of day number 2 of league stages, it is going to be Erangel, ladies and gentlemen. So please enjoy and sit back. Group A versus Group B. If we talk about the flight to 23 and flight path, starting from military base and ending on Stelbar, that's a really good one, Lucifer. Because teams can drop anywhere they want, they can go for any city they want. But yeah, like, the cities of Joshua, Jaki, and moreover, like, I would like to say Quarry and Primos, they need to come in a vehicular contest. then they can come and rotate and can go on their particular cities.
Uh, I agree with you in terms of the rotation that they'll be trying to do. I mean, military base to Stalber and anything in between, but I want to see where this circle is going to be forming. Is it going to be dead center around the flight path, or is it going to be somewhere else? Because depending on where the flight path is, circle is,
Yeah.
teams kind of then have to figure out the rotation, right? So if they're able to kind of assume it and then the circle helps out in their favor, it'll be really good. But otherwise, it might be difficult.
Oh.
Ooh, I was talking about this. I mean, teams are having a equal shift on both the directions, but majority of the teams are reading it right that the circle should be to the western sides of the map, and I think these teams will be having a easy situation in terms of holding their ground. But on the other end, the teams heading over to the eastern edges, they're also not far from the circle because the circle is not completely taking a western shift.
Yeah, absolutely. Like majority of the teams are into the zone already, and they'll be going on their drops as well, and then they will be starting their lane, and that's a really good one, right? We cannot see any fights right now. Waiting for the initial fights in day number 1, Lucifer. We have seen that teams were taking the initial fights in the first half of the zone and the first half of the match, and that's a really good thing because some teams were taking and getting advantage of taking the initial fights and getting really good picks and kills or finishes in the start, right? But now in the zone we can see only one thing, that teams are having a really good breathing space, and nobody, like, even a single team is coming in a fight casualty.
No team is coming in any casualties right as now, and that's the starting, right? So
Yeah.
in the start, they'll just be looking forward to rotating here and there, getting some loot, and depending on how the loot they get, they'll be looking forward to their rotation and the next upcoming, right, decisions that they do. But right now, we are again seeing Midfail's team. They're going to be in military base as they were previously as well, but I hope they have a better show today because day one was also not good. Launch party, it was okay-ish, so it's time for them to buck up.
Absolutely, this is time to buck up and this is time to gear up. And what of all teams we are talking about? We're talking about the teams lying down on third page. We're talking about the teams coming on hashtag 16, 15, 14. So they need to buckle up. They need to gear up. And I don't know how they're going to make it. But yeah, they will be doing the things happen for their own team. And they will be coming on page number 1. Because Lucy, only top 16 teams are going to get qualified for the next grand finals.
Yeah, 16. That's the, I would say, number that everybody needs to be looking forward to, because if they make even the smallest mistake where they lose out the crucial points, right? Yesterday we were seeing Vaadhiyaar's team when they were playing in Miramar. They had the highest probability of getting one of the biggest chicken dinner victories, but made some small mistakes and the entire team faltered and got eliminated without getting closer to the chicken dinner. It happens. So I hope these teams do not make those minute mistakes where they lose a lot of points. And if they do, right, because when we talk about qualifying and becoming the top 16 teams, there are teams from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 until 20th position who are still giving a fight to get back to the top 16. And the last match might end up deciding who those top 16 teams are, and you do not want kind of some other teams deciding your fate.
Indeed. Here you go. Team number 13, Ishika Plays team is on our screens on the water town, on the city town. As you can see, they're just luring in and they're having 0 finishes. That's what I was talking about, right? You see, none of the teams are coming in the fight. Either no one is trying to take fight in. Nobody's taking initial fights, and that's a really good thing. And I think so in the start, we can see a lot of casualties going in, of course, because there will be a lot of players, a lot of teams surviving on the same zone. Maybe in 4th zone, maybe in 5th zone, we can see 40, 45 players. Who knows? So yeah, this is the calm before the storm of this match, and I think so this is the major factor we are just waiting for to witness. Some amazing fights are coming in really soon, but right now all the teams are just focused with loot, what they're just finding in, and they're just finding some of those good weapons and the combos they're going to be using in this match.
I mean, it's surprising that we are just seeing teams trailing around and thinking about loot, not going for fights, right?
Yeah.
I mean, initial drop clashes is something that excites us, but you can see as the days are progressing, teams are getting better, refining their strategies, refining their play styles, and then making sure that when they deal damage, it is rightly for finishers, not just going for some impacts where they send a couple of shots, damage their vest or helmet. And making sure finish is what they're going to be concentrating on, and as they progress, same goes for the placement points as well. But right now, Georgipul Apartments, we are seeing Vaadhi's team as well. I think we did see another team. I think Sharkshee's team is also close quarters. So Vaadhi's team, they need to think about it. On the other end, Further away towards Lipauka, we are going to be seeing Lolz team. I mean, Lolz team yesterday had some brilliant duels,
Yeah.
but couldn't come out on top because the other team also started overpowering them and started retaliating.
Absolutely. Like the strategies from the side of Godl Rebel's team was really good, but in the end there were some factors that was killing them, and that's why they were like not able to retaliate some of those fights, and that's why they were getting eliminated. I wish they like crystally cleared it all. What was the problems and what was the communication problems going all around, and they analyze their gameplay today, and that and coming back stronger in this match. Let's just see if they'll be able to take the chicken dinner or not. But yeah, two of the teams, team number 8 and team number 3, can be coming into the fight, and I think so the breathing space between both of the teams are so low. Maybe they can just directly rotate in and go to their favorable places they want to go. But Hastar team is also so close to the Georgepul city, and maybe there will be some of those rotation clashes we're gonna be witnessing really soon.
Looking forward to those rotational clashes if it happens, but still the first circle, right? It's now about to see, it's coming to the 0th second, and once it comes, we're going to be seeing the play zone closing and crumbling, and then we'll see also the second circle forming, and that's what I'm looking out for on how the second circle will move, because we have seen already it's a kind of more favoring towards the western edges of the map, but still eastern teams, as you were talking about it, any teams towards Yasnaya and below will have a little bit easier chance to get in because they're not further away. But still they have to make sure that wherever they are at, they enter making sure they have information, because yesterday we did see, right, teams just jumping and going in for a battle where they just know about one player but not about the other players of this particular team. They immediately get cornered themselves and come into a sandwich situation, and them, whichever XYZ team decided to take a fight, they were the ones who fell apart because they did not have the right information. So I hope when they're rotating as well, or even if when they enter the circle and take a compound, they know where they're looking at and they know what they have to be worried about.
No doubt, like you explained it really well, right? Without information, you cannot push in. You don't know about the positions, you don't know about the off-guard angle teams are holding in for you, and you just directly pushing in towards the compound, towards on the team. So yeah, of course you'll be getting picked out, and your players will be getting knocked out one by one, and your whole team is going to get eliminated. It's better to scout in. Just look for all the players like standing on the off guard angle. Just pick them up, and then you can just directly slam on the team, and that will be the really good one. Hastar team is having a really good advantage of higher ridge. Yeah, of course we have seen the fight of higher ridge and lower ridge Lucifer, and this is going to be one of them. But yeah, there's no team all around Hastar team, and that's a really good advantage for them. They can just make some of those more strategies that what they're gonna do in the second zone, or else there will be some of those changes in the decisions the IGL's gonna take. But yeah, of course the position right now Hastar team is taking is really good one, and second zone cutoff we'll be having on the screens really soon.
See how this second circle is going to be.
Oh.
Okay, that's a nice shift. I really like it because from the western sides, it's moved a little bit centralized, but also it's taken a northern shift, right?
Yep.
But this is what I said. The teams on the eastern edges, they still have a good entry point, but most of them are thinking about entering from Yasnaya, where there is Ghatak's team already. They are also thinking about rotating, but if kind of Ghatak's team go for a late rotation because the circle is still at their edges, they have the control of it, then they might have a chance to pick up with fights with those 2 or 3 squads who are thinking to enter in that direction. But on the other end, as you talked about Hastar's team, even though their start is always good, but they end up making the mistakes at the end when we see like last 6-7 teams are surviving. They immediately start crumbling. They do not know which particular fight to take head on, and it can happen here as well. Now as they were rotating, they've spotted a squad here. They're thinking about what they should do. Okay, wait, they've not spotted, but this is what we said, right? While you're rotating, you need to kind of be proactive in looking out for information. Hastar is doing that. He might be rightly able to see one squad which is in front of him. That's going to be the team number 13, and we'll be thinking of what's going to be happening over there. How will they be able to function, and making sure of how it works out. But in the meantime, Guru's team, they did get a brilliant chicken dinner, as I was talking about Vaadhiyaar's team, right? In Miramar, they were the ones who changed the tide over there and got the chicken dinner for themselves. But right now, it's going to be blind psycho finding a player from, I think, Castro's team and downing. Oh, no, not from Castro's team. It's going to be from Eagle's team that there's going to be a player who's going to be down. But again, having a little bit of a difference in terms of their distance, they're going to be able to get that revive back in.
Absolutely, going for the smokes and then they'll be coming into the compound. That's a really good one, and finding a really good smoke screen. Absolutely, Shelby is coming on the back ends, and that's a really good one, finding a good position. But as you can see, Sniper coming with a really good pick for his team. Where's the fight going all around? Let's just have a look on them as well. Ninja with some plays on Team Ender, but not so equivalent to find a knockout. Yeah, of course, long range taking this kind of sprays in long range is actually so hard. You can just taking damage on vehicle, but not on the person sitting in, not on the player sitting in that car and driving in. But yeah, of course, if you talk about Falcon, the team is coming in the fight. Team number 6, they're just getting ready, and they had a off-guard angle as well. A player, Blind Rage named. He's flanking, and I think so that's a really good angle. Lucifer, he can find over there, but his position has been compromised right now as per he was taking some of those fires, and I think so he need to be get so much careful over there. Alright, but yeah, we'll be talking about the match as well. Teams are taking in the fight, and I think we'll see this 4v4 fight is going really good. Flash has been knocked out, and I think so right now the numbers balance, the equation has been disbalanced, and team number 12 is having a really good chance to just eliminate their opponent. But in the fight, now both fights are happening at the same moment. Pablo getting picked out. That's a really good one. What an amazing spotting power by the side of Falcon. He's been also picked out, and I think so X-Pain, he's just like, blooming off.
I mean, he was the first one to receive the knock, and it shows, right? He's not happy about it. But on the other hand, I did speculate that I did see Blind Psycho's team with just 3 players, and yes, it's just 3 players here. Unfortunate for them that not all the full 4 players are here, because they initially dealt a knock, but they were unable to capitalize and convert it into a finish. So you can see, right now they're just crumbling and trying to run away from this fight, disengage and try to just move into a different direction. Otherwise, if they stay here any further, their position will be compromised, and there will be another team trying to take them down. So I hope they're going to be safely moving away. But in the meantime, Eagles team, who have picked up a fight, have kind of given the slight clue of where they are, but also they've spotted another team that's going to be Willy's team, and they're looking for to take them down. But because of the distance, right, if now Pain tries to connect bullets, he'll be wasting most of them, and also you can see, right, his vest is so much damaged up. So for him to kind of take on that fight with an entire squad will be difficult. If he goes in for a 1v1, he might have better chances.
Absolutely, going for the 1v1 will be having a better chance, but look at the zone, going all around and taking a really good hard shift, coming onto the southern side. Potato Hill being in the very center of the map, and let us see who will be taking that Potato Hill. But yeah, Blind Rage taking some of those sprays, but not that much of connective, because players are behind that concrete cover, and of course, you cannot touch those bullets and cannot find knockouts. If the players are coming in the open region, that will be the really great thing. But I can see one team in that purple color. They are on the Yasnaya, and they're just getting rotated into the zone, and I think so it's not favorable for them, because Lucy, there's a lot of teams in just front of them, and I think so gatekeeping will be the scenario that they'll be not getting permission or granted for the zone entry.
Gatekeeping is something that we all need to be worried about. I mean, even though we are casters and our beloved audience who are just right now enjoying the matches, but they'll also be worried, right? Because their favorite teams, they might not get a chance to enter into the circle. So I hope teams are able to push through and get in. But right now, Eagles team, I mean, this strategy is a little bit, for me at least, a little bit disastrous, because if you see, right, most of the players look a little bit split apart. There's just 2 players who are playing together. Everybody else from Eagles team is playing from different directions. But in the meantime, in Finnish feed, we end up seeing that Natasha Gaming's team is having a tough time from Vaadhiyaar's team, as they're trying to have a fight, having a gun duel. But in the meantime, Rage, this is what I was saying. He's out in the open. He's also a solo player who's right now being spotted, and Sharkshee squad wanted to do the damage, and you can see his vehicle is smoking up. Any more couple bullets coming through from wherever, irrespective whether it's from Sharkshee squad or anybody else who spots him, they might just burst the vehicle, and at that time, if he was in the vehicle, he would have been taken down. But right now, we did see he did get out, and in the meantime, we've also switched over to Willy Gaming's team, where they were also seen from Eagles team, right? But right now, they found themselves a compound where they've spotted a different squad that they're looking forward to take on.
Team number 9 on our screens, and you can see a lot of teams just gathering all around, and I think so they can be the center of attraction. But Mighty FPS has been also picked out for the side of Ninja OP. That's a really good pick, and look at the zone again, taking a hard chip. Oh my god, coming from the eastern side, going on the west and south. teams are not able to understand what is actually going on and predict in the zone. And I think so it's going to be something hard for them. But yeah, Team Anto, you can see one of the players has been casualized in the fight. Most of the teams starting rotating from the northern side to the zone, and there will be a lot of rotation clashes going all around, and many of the casualties coming all around from that section of the map. Let's just see who will be going over there. But one of the teams conquering out the potato will be having a really good slight advantage, Lucifer. That is going to be higher range.
I mean, Potato Hill, we do see that there are teams who kind of can have a good chance, but again, there's not a lot of covers in Potato Hills that you can play around with, so you need to be like taking the first head-on fights that comes in your direction without letting anybody else climb up. If you do that, there's a possibility, but right now you're seeing Midfail's team as well delivering shots, converting it, and I think they're fighting with Anto's team, and they're doing the damage to them. Anto's team, they're a little bit further away, but there's another team trying to close towards Midfail's team in a different direction, and Midfail needs to be worried about it. In the meantime, as we were talking about Vaadhiyaar's team, they were taking Natasha Gaming's team as well. Right now they're taking Team Ishika as well, head on and doing the damage. In the meantime, each team is taking Kronten's team down. Ishika place gets confirmed. Mogambo also goes down, and Vaadhiyaar's team is just on a spree of finishes in their name. But Doom puts a little bit of a stop over there. But in the meantime, Midfail's team takes on Guru's team as well. And look at Ash push on with the confidence because 2 players are down. Make it 3. It's only 1 last player surviving, Orion, who's in the smoke. And look at the spray coming to it. Hits the neck. And if he sprays a lot more, he can get the entire squad wiped out. And I think that should be happening very soon because the spray was already there. And yes, we see the confirmations coming through very soon. But in the meantime, there's another fight also going on in front of our screens.
Indeed, this is going all a third party, right? And as you can see, skills coming from the backends, taking some of the shots on Godl Lolz team. Bad Agent has been picked out, and Team Godl Guru Gaming has been also eliminated. Multiple teams are coming in the fight on the same particular moment and getting eliminated all around. Let's just see if we talk about Godl Spiky going with that Hastar for the revival point, or else he's just directly rotating into the zone, and that's a really good decision from his side. Skills taking some of those tap shots, but not able to file the casualty. Let's see if they'll be able to get the thing or not. But yeah, Godl Ghatak has been also picked out. Godl Spike has been also down. 2 of the teams are taking fight on the same moment. Not even 2. 4 teams, 5 teams. Team Anto is also coming in the fight. NG is also coming in the fight. Natasha Gaming is also coming in the fight. What is happening in the match, Lucy?
It's just brilliant action coming in these battlegrounds for all these teams, and this is what we said, we enjoy these kind of fights coming through. But I'm surprised that it's just in the 4th circle we are seeing all these fights come through, but I'm really excited because this is getting better and better as the days are progressing. Midfail's team have converting them a lot of finishes in their name. They are also, their position is right now completely compromised because they took so many fights and also got the finishes, and in the finish feed also their name came up. But in the meantime, we are seeing Drift also. I think it's coming in from either Joker's team or there should be another squad. If I'm missing, will eventually jump up there. But Ghatak's team making it a little difficult as they take down Drift and make sure they get the finisher as well. But in the meantime, this is what we were talking about. Vaadhi's team, look at the way they're able to take fights with various different directions. In the meantime, Ace Black providing cover for Vaadhi as he's pushing up, but Vaadhi's position is known with a TPP. But still, look at him barely surviving. Mighty FPS, Vaadhi goes in for a reload, and that's when Mighty FPS swings. But nonetheless, the cover being provided from Ace Black on point to make sure that Vaadhi is not eliminated.
Absolutely. On the Potato Hill, you can see OR Anto being a solo survival over there. Is Black from the backends taking some of those plays, and I think so trying to pick some of those plays out. Willy has been also down. Ixen has been also down. Multiple fights are happening from OR Anto. From his team, he's the only Solomon survival over there. OG Anto on our screens. Let us see if he'll be able to take some of those picks and frags or not. That will be the biggest question. But into the zone, there's only 1 or 2 teams. Whole center of the zone has been empty. Lucifer, what do you think? If any of the team is trying to target the center of the zone, they'll be the center of attraction for all the team and getting in a third party situation or not?
And right now, I think that team is going to be Willy's team. But look at Maxi going in an upper hand. You saw, right? He took a vehicle, came a little bit ahead, and right now he's done the damage, taken 1 player down. That's going to be unkilled. Unfortunate for him that his teammates can't save him. And immediately Maxi goes in for that finish point. But the other 3 players, this is what was talking about and were pointing out, that some team can immediately jump in and slam in inside the circle, take the center control, and they become a target. And before Willy's team could do that, they became a target itself because they were making so much now. Now, Vaadhiyaar's team, I think yesterday with the chicken dinner they missed, they are angry about it. They're looking forward to take one today. But Natasha Gaming's team somehow managed to disengage a fight from Vaadhiyaar's team. Eventually, we did see, right, there were a couple of knocks being dealt. But Vaadhiyaar's team is also not a 4-strong army here. They have lost. They have had a casualty, just like Natasha Gaming's team. But Ninja OP is reading it right. He throws down a grenade, but the damage is missed. But in the meantime, in the different direction, there's Maxi OP also trying to push up alongside Vaadhi. But the grenade coming in from Natasha, that does connect, does do chip damage, but it's not going to be enough. But look at Vaadhi's team relentlessly not giving up this risk. They're making sure that they have a chance to come back up. But Ninja OP is right now prone, but in the meantime, Midfail is also on the back ends. I think from Shakshi's team, he got a knock over there. But in the meantime, they're exchanging blows. My bad, it's not Shakshi's team, it was Midfail as well as Blind Psycho's team fighting it out. We did see Sniper as well getting one finish point for himself, but right now Vaadhi's team with 7 finishes, not giving up this edge of the circle. They're trying to force Natasha Gaming to make a mistake, but they're also not trying to make any mistakes themselves.
Absolutely, that grenade was really good from the side of the Natasha Gaming team, and I think from the back and Vaadhiyaar team is also coming over there and taking some of those grenades out, trying to pick some of those players of the Natasha Gaming team. Karthik is so low on HP. On the meantime, you can see Midfield Whitey headshot is taking some of those sprays and good headshots on his opponent. Shelby's been spotted behind that tree or those natural covers, but he's not exposing his body. That's a really good button to him. But yeah, he had to smoke over there, and then he'll be coming into the zone entry. But they're into the zone, so I think so they are just holding over there. In some seconds, we can see the 6 zone cutoff, and we all are having a top 11 team, top 25 players still surviving, fighting for the winner with the second dinner of the Natasha Gaming YT team. Ghatak has been catched right. 2 of the players are still surviving over there, and let's just see if they'll be able to make that 3v4 happen or not against Team Vaadhi.
Oh no, Midfield team, where did they come from? They're causing trouble here for Vaadhiyaar's team, but in the meantime, we are also seeing Kronten's team, the last surviving play, making something work. But in the meantime, Midfield's players also have been knocked. But look at this, I think Vaadhiyaar's team unfortunately got eliminated. I didn't know what happened over there. I mean, Vaadhiyaar's team got the first initial knock on Karthik, and it was just the last 2 players surviving. There was a knock that came on Natasha as well, but the last surviving player made it happen. In Midfield's team having a different directional fight was the reason it feels like Midfield's team will also be vanished. But Shelby, the one you were talking about, who was hiding behind the tree trunk, is right now also in a different tree trunk but has pushed up. But look at this last surviving player. The spray comes in, that nade connection, immediate spray coming in from Shelby. Make sure that Midfield's team is completely wiped out here on her angle.
Team Vaadhiyaar, Team Eagle Gaming, and one of the most amazing teams are getting eliminated. Midfield team has been also eliminated, and I think this is time, and we are coming to the end. But before that, let's talk about G212 Sniper P6 from the Breakers taking down this place. Karthik is full over this place, and I can please be getting knocked out. Absolutely. That was a chance for Anto to do the 1v2, but he was not. He don't have any idea for the second player where he was hiding. That's why he was eliminated over there, and Team Anto has been also eliminated. Absolutely. But if you talk about Mr. Spray and skills, 2 of the players still surviving and having 2 good finishers, but they are into the zone. They can get a really good entry into the zone, but how will be able to make the chicken dinner happen? Because this is an impossible task for them because they are not in numbers.
I mean, it looks like an impossible task for many teams, but still they're making it happen. Especially if you talk about 2 minutes ago, right? Shelby as well as Sniper, the last 2 surviving players from Blind Psycho, they look like this is an impossible task to come out of a fight from Midfield's team because they were holding them strong. But right now, look at them. Not only they wiped Midfield's team, but also they're pushing towards Natasha Gaming's team. A grenade comes in which is knocked Karthik right now. It's only up to Natasha as well as Ninja, but another grenade coming in from Shelby that connects on Natasha, and this was a delayed grenade, I presume. And look at the second grenade. Brilliantly connects and barely Natasha was about to survive over there and gets eliminated. Karthik is also about to bleed out. The last surviving player is Ninja, trying to only save in a shack that is also not completely covered with 4 walls. It's just 2-sided. So right now, Ninja trying to survive just behind that wooden wall is going to be difficult. But Maze making use of the TPP has known the direction of both the players. But look at this knock coming in. Shelby needs to save the day, but will unable to do that because of Ninja's drop spray coming through. What a play coming in from Ninja. A 1v2 being pulled out.
1v2 getting pulled out, and I think so he's the only Solomon survival over there. This guy is not stopping, having 4 freaking finishes. But Team Blind Psycho has been also eliminated. Natasha Gaming right, he's still surviving in the lobby. I don't know how, but yeah, they're just surviving and they're just getting over there, and they are the survivors over there. Team Ghatak has been also eliminated, Lucy, and now we are up to the top 4 teams. That is going to be Willy, Lolz, Sharkshee, and Natasha.
Oh. I mean, what was this play coming in from Ninja OP? Was if the timing would have been better here, Inferno, maybe they could have had a chance to completely eliminate the player, but Ninja OP gets time, patches, and then gets into the fight and looks good. But right now, Skrills and Mr. Spray, just like how we have seen Shelby and Sniper's combo, it might happen here as well. Now they've already knocked Smikey. Now it's all up to Lolz. Spikey is trying to climb uphill to get that revival, but I think it's going to be difficult. And if Lolz tries to push down, his position might be known. But Skrills, being the snake in these grasses, is just crawling and going ahead. And finally, as I said, it's going to be difficult for the revival. The finish board gets confirmed for Skrills with total 3 finishes in their team name. But look at Mr. Spray's position and direction. He's slowly sneaking closer and closer from the top edge, and Skrills from his immediate right hand edge. And look at that, spots Lolz and immediately downs. Now it's up to Ninja OP. Has heard the sound, but is the player going to be connecting shots is the main question. But in the meantime, I think Willy team has the best probability of getting the chicken dinner because they have all the 3 players surviving and they have the highest reach compared to any of these last 2 surviving teams.
Absolutely, Mr. Spray WO and Skills. They both are still surviving over there. If we were talking about we were talking about that how they'll be able to take that chicken dinner happen, but I think that this is time. They will be showcasing their next strategies presentation over there. But yeah, Team Number 9 having the advantage of men time. I think that's a really good advantage for them. I think over there, Sean who just pushed in, and that was not the thing. But yeah, he's just getting traded off. Skills being the solo survival over there, taking some of those plays, and I think so they are going for all out. Again from the back end, and reflex coming in. Skills, my boy, not stopping out around. Mr. Spray has been melted down. This is the last 1v2 situation going with Willy. We look for it over there. Going for the 1v1. Skills getting so much low over there, and Skills has been also down. The match has been ended. Coming over there and having a really great presentation. But yeah, only the best team is taking the chicken dinner.
Exactly. What a brilliant chicken dinner coming here for Team Willy. I mean, you saw, right? They don't have a lot of finishes in their name, but the way they played, strategically waited for their opportunity and then immediately capitalized. That tells us that it is all about strategy, timing, and the right amount of investment of those utilities, and the fights that you get yourself in gives you the chicken dinner at the right point. And that's what happened here. Very strategic, very calculative was Willy's team. You saw, right? Even when we were talking about, you mentioned this, that any team, if they take the center of the circle, they might be the target, but also that team might be one of those teams where we call the highest probability to get the chicken dinner here in an angle. And that's what happened. They got the chicken dinner for themselves. Willy's team was a strategic move. While the strategic move was going on, they did lose a player, but nonetheless, this chicken dinner suffices them for that.
Absolutely, like Team Willy, what a good performance. But yeah, I would like to say one thing as well, and I would like to include one thing as well. Skills and Skills, what, he tried his best to pull out that match, but yeah, that 1v2 was not in his favor. Yeah, of course, doing 1v2 and then the foggy conditions going all around, there was a lot of smokes deployed from the opponent team. That's why the vision was blocked over there for him. That's why he was just getting eliminated over there. But yeah, what a good try. And yeah, Team Willy amazingly performed, my man. Team Willy just pulled off this match out of and snitching off, but a really good one coming out.
I agree with you. I mean, there were so many heroic plays that we ended up seeing. One from Ninja OP, then we saw from Skrills. And Skrills, look at the way he took on a fight with Ninja OP, who was also on the higher edge. As soon as he knew that there was a spray coming on the player who was knocked down, Mr. Spray, and he immediately started spraying that player and eliminated that. Got that finish on Ninja OP, the last surviving player from Natasha Gaming, and went ahead. And he knew the battle to be taken right now is going to be ahead and upfront with that last surviving team. And that's the reason he went ahead. But what happened was Willy was already up close. But right now, what we will be looking into is how these teams would have impacted it on the overall standings, which will be coming right after this short break. So don't go anywhere. The overall standings matter for these teams to qualify into the grand finals. Take a short break.
Hi, this is Shankar Mahadevan. Welcome to my studio. For me, music is an ongoing journey, not only about singing and composing music, but it's also about learning every day. Inspiration, ideas, and melodies, they strike at the most undecided moments. Today, if I sit and say, hey, I'm going to create the most amazing tune over here, today may be the most horrible tune to compose, but you're stuck in the traffic jam, you're boarding a flight, and this melody suddenly comes to you. That is when you need technology to leverage that moment, because the faster it comes, the faster it goes. In today's day, you don't need 100 people to play everything together. They used to do that because of lack of technology. I'm working with international musicians and we record, comfortably, and they are playing there, we are recording over here. You don't even lose one single KB of data. Performance is communication. A performer communicates to his audience with music. If you have a beautiful voice, it needs to be captured beautifully through technology. For me, technology is built for performance.
Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen. Get the latest gaming laptops powered by AMD Ryzen processors.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to the Streamers Showdown, and we are here with with this league stages of day number 2, and we'll be conducting the match number 2. It is going to be Myanmar and my friend, a good friend, Lucy is over here. Lucy, take it over.
I mean, this is going to be an interesting one. We are back from those bushes and grasses to complete sand dunes everywhere.
Yeah.
The higher ridges being even more impactful. But before that, to our viewers, we want to discuss about the previous match, what happened. So, Willy's performance and getting a chicken dinner over there was brilliant. And you can see on the scorecard as well, with 21 finishes. 21 total points. I always jumble this up. But nonetheless, 6 finishes. I mean, this is what I said, a strategic move where they placed themselves in a position where they had the advantage of the ridge, had the advantage of the circle, and then just looked forward to the finish, which was easier for them to take rather than thinking about how to convert a very disastrous fight, right? So Willy's team did win it out, but Sharkshee's squad, they also played very, very well, and especially with even a 3-player squad, to manage to pull this off is not an easy job to do. You saw how Mr. Spray as well as Skrills were playing together, but at the last moment, Skrills, I mean, his hero and individual play was really well. He first took on Natasha, and then we did see Skrills take on Lolz team as well. So this does tell you, right? He had the capability,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, what happened was Willy had already aggressed when Skrills pushed to the boulder, and then Willy's team got the advantage, and Willy himself took Skrills down.
This is it, and hey, you, Team Sharkshee, Natasha, Lolz, Ghatak, Blind, like every team just popping off. All the teams, like, lurking in the shadows or on page number 3, on page number 2. So they are actually fighting back, and they are actually doing really good. But one or two teams I would like to quote, that is going to be Team Anto and Joker Ki Haveli, Hastar, Spower. Spower's team didn't play in this match, I would like to
Yeah.
say, and I think so they'll be playing the next one as well. But yeah, if we talk about Team Anto, Eagle Gaming, what happened to them in the first match? Maybe, yeah, of course they will be like, coming back and popping off in the next matches really soon. But yeah, if we talk about the MVP, most valuable player of the previous match of Wrangle, of match number 1, it is going to be none other than Midfield's team. This is going to be Ash OP, having finishes contribution that is 85.71, and total number of finishes, it is going to be 6.
I mean, this is where Vaadhiyaar's team got the disadvantage. Because we were seeing Vaadhiyaar's team not only take fight with Ishika's team, finish that off, then take a fight with Natasha Gaming's team as well as Anto's team, and they were dealing damage to everybody. Had just one casualty, but had total 7 finishes under their belt. But what happened at the last moment was this Ash OP and even another player helping it out, and out of the blue, charging towards Vaadhiyaar's team when they were in the higher edge. And don't know what happened over there. Immediately Vaadhiyaar's team started falling down, and Natasha Gaming's team capitalized it. But this is where they also made the mistake, Midfail's team. Is that not only did they pick a fight with Vaadhiyaar, they had to actually think about the fight that they were already taking with Blind Psycho's team. That is the reason Shelby got a chance to push up, and there, even though Midfail's team was able to get a couple of finishes here and there, and we saw, right, 80% contribution coming in from Ash OP was not enough to get his team the chicken dinner.
Absolutely, and these are the league stages groups, Group A, B, and C. All of the viewers and audience are know all the group names and all the group players. But yeah, all the new viewers, we're going to repeat for them. Group number A, Team Ghatak, Vaadhiyaar, Midfail, Guru Gaming, Eagle, Lolz, Sharkshee. Group B, Kronten, Ishika, Blind Psycho, Spower, Natasha, Hastar, and Willy and Anto, and as follows. But yeah, if you talk about the players' reaction, all the streamers' reaction, they're so tensed. Some of the players are happy. You can see Midfield on the screen right now. He's just so relaxed. Look at the position he's sitting right now. He's just so relaxed. Like, I want to play, like, so relaxful. And just he's getting ready. But right now, they all are just getting warmed up. And I think so. The match has been started, Lucy. This is going to be Miramar. Day number 2 of league stages. Group A versus Group C. And we're going to take off.
We have taken off. We are seeing the flight path from Torre Amuda, crossing and getting closer to Vaadhiyaar, and there you can see the flight path ending. So it's going to be a complete northern, eastern to a southern, western end of flight path and trajectory, a diagonal one coming through. And this time, Los Leones is a little further away.
Yeah.
Still, again, it is a big city, big place, so people can easily jump in, but it's being a little further away. Maybe a couple of teams can think about La Cobreria, where generally nobody goes, even go for Ruins, even Campo Militar, El Hazar, these places that you talk about, Cruz del Val, these situations that we keep talking about, these places where people generally don't go, but when a flight path in this trajectory comes through, you generally have to. But we did see, right, when the players camp started, Vivone's team, they're also going to be here. Let's see if they're going to be having an advantage to get a chicken dinner. But right now the circle says, you thought Los Leones, you thought El Pozo, you thought La Cobreria would be a good, but as we are seeing, like Junkyard and El Azhar being the hearts of the circle, this is going to be a little bit hard for a lot of these teams, because you can see only, I think, 5 squads are inside the circle compared to the entire 16 teams that are jumping in here on Miramar.
Absolutely, but look at the zone. Zone is just taking a really good hard shift. Like, humongous numbers of team are out of the zone. They need to rotate in. Just look at that. Teams like, looting on La Cobria, El Pozo, Crater Fields, they need to rotate in a lot. And the team coming on Valle del Mar, they need to just rotate in a lot. But yeah, if you talk about the first pick, if you talk about the first blood of this match, not the first blood, but the first pick. But yeah, Godl Guru is going with the fist and Godl Vivone. Alright, this is something different we are just witnessing.
I mean, we do end up seeing many different things that teams want to do. But let's see what more we end up seeing. But the first finish is going to be for Guru's team. They'll be more than happy, because this is what we talk about, right? In Miramar, you get a chance to pick some easy finishes depending on how and where you drop, and while you're dropping, who you spot. And that did work out, and unfortunate for Vivone to be the first one to be eliminated, but still, they can exchange the blow, right? Because you can see Hellgod, Scream, as well as Beast OP, they're still there in the fight, but they have to get the loot. And you can see Uzi, there was also a rifle being picked, but Pain is waiting. Pain is right now spotted Hellgod, and he goes in with a spray with the AKM, and Hellgod was ready with the Uzi, but it does not matter right now, as he's been taken down, and the finish point also gets confirmed. We did talk about Vivone's team. This was the first match for the day that they were starting on Miramar, and there only they have a casualty.
Absolutely, they had a casualty over there, and I think so. We are just witnessing some of those technical issues. We will be coming towards the caster disc, I think so, again, and waiting for that. Like, we did see a lot of, I would like to say, the things going on, but I think so, Lucifer, as per we switch to the caster desk, it's been fixed. All right, that's a really good one. But yeah, if we will be talking about again to the match, Orion X just getting a really good pick on BB Scream, and BB Scream has been down and he's been also eliminated. A really good pick coming in. Beast OP on that stage right now. He's just the solo man survival over there from Godl V1 team, and I think so they're just lurking in the shadows right now.
I mean, unfortunate for Vivone's team, right? It happens once you lose a player, right? You look forward to seeking revenge.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw, right? Everybody from Vivone's team started jumping in, trying to take a fight, and eventually it didn't work in their favor, either because the opponent had a better weapon, either because the opponent was prepared, the opponent had information, and they just capitalized. Guru's team starting it off with 3 finishes, and look at that. The time, it's less than 5 minutes, and they've done the job. In the start itself, gotten themselves confidence. So I'm a little bit worried, but again, we talk about it, right? Teams have 12 matches in total that they can play in, but out of the 12 matches, yesterday when we finished the day off, every team had played 4 matches. Every group had played 4 matches, and today they'll be playing 4 more. Out of which 1 match for Group A and B is already done. Now Group C is starting their first match. On the other end, Group A is playing their second match for the day. So you can't lose a lot of these matches. You have to make sure to be on the top 16. Every point should be mattering. You should figure out, even if it's a bad map, find either placement points. If it's a bad map where you're unable to get placements, you should figure out finish points. I mean, Midfail's team did get finish points as well as placement points in the previous one, where it was not just enough. But again, I want to see at the end of the day, if they're in the top 16, I think Midfail's team will be in the grand finals. I'll be more than happy. And I feel like Midfail's team is hiding some things that they don't want to showcase here in the league stages, but they'll be jumping right into the grand finals and bursting a lot of these teams out of the bed, out of the game.
Of course, like Midfail is a team, I would like to say they're not so bad. Like in the league stages or in the launch party, I'm not saying that they're so bad playing, but yeah, what I'm saying is that they're just hiring. Absolutely, they're just hiring some of those strategies that they need to showcase in the last grand final, and they really know that how to get qualified. They just need to get qualified and come in hashtag 16, because from the grand finals, the point tables will be starting from the 0 for each and every team, and from where Midfield team will be revealing their all the strategies, all their golden moves, and then they will be playing over there. But if you talk about Godl Guru, look at those expressions. Like, players are not so tense. Players are just happy playing over there. Of course, like, the players are on the, like, in a good point table system or in a hashtag top 10. They're just happy. But the players from like, below top 15, there's a so tense right now, and you can see the face expressions really soon on their cams. But if you talk about skills and team number 8, they started rotating.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is going in for rotation. But you did mention one thing, right? They've been smiling. I mean, especially Guru's team. And Guru's team, I think they love Miramar. From the time we have seen matches, right? Every time Guru's team have, I would say, come down on Miramar, they found at least one chicken dinner on a particular day, and it is always on Miramar. So I think teams need to be worried about Guru Gaming's team, where if they try to go and fight with him and his entire squad, they might immediately take him down. But as you did talk about it, rotation is also going to be very crucial on Miramar, because if you make one slight wrong move and give a lot in terms of the information, make a lot of noise, you invite another team, like we call people for functions, right? Come here, bless us on the wedding, or bless us during a birthday, or whatever so may be the function. That is the kind of situation that you bring yourself in. Here it's not going to be a blessing. Here it's just going to be you finished off on this particular map. So they have to be worried about it. And right now you can see, right, as they were rotating, they figured out they've given the noise to one team, and they did receive a couple of sprays. But Midfail's team immediately realizing that they're picking a fight out in the open. There is no ridge also. Higher ridge, little bit of these sand dunes, that's all they have. Nothing in terms of a huge higher ridge difference where somebody cannot spot them. So Midfail's team immediately disassociate themselves from the fight and move in a different direction. But on the other end, there's also one thing that they did, is because they understood there's a play zone closing in, but with this mini 14, can Mr. Spray connect any of those tap shots is what I'm looking at. Ash OP, the previous MVP of Erangel, is now running away with me. He jumped out.
No.
Okay,
That
that was a glitch.
Yeah, I was also thinking that.
Midway he jumped out, but no damage. Surprising.
And one of the most important thing was that car was transferred out. Like, and it was looking like the car of cars, and we have just watched the movie Tarzan, right? It was looking the same.
it had a mind of its own over there. I mean, either be a transformer, either the car from Tarzan. I mean, anything, but it did not happen that way. So.
Yeah.
A little bit okay. Otherwise, if we have those cars in BGMI, I mean, I think a lot of these will be looking forward to putting autopilot here in Inferno.
Bro, come on, the real Teslas are entering BGMI as well. But if you talk about the match as well, not going out of the context, Ghatak's team going all around, but two of the players has been picked out. Night Noob and Ghatak, duo and survival. These two casualties are not so very well for them, because like, coming in a casualty, and when you guys are coming in a 2v4 situation, of course your opponents are having a really good hand. That's the basic thing. But now they need to change their strategies. If they were thinking that they need to play aggressive, no, you cannot do it now, because you are duo and standing. You need to get some of those picks, and you need to get some of those knockouts or finishes in third party, or like, of course, just play a sneaky game. But if you talk about the zone, two of the teams you can see being in the very center of the map, and that's a really good one. Multiple teams are out of the zone, and you can see one thing on the section of Lost Nearness, on another side, Lucifer, multiple teams are rotating, and we are waiting for the rotation clashes, because that's my favorite thing.
Oh man, I mean, in Miramar happening, it is a little bit disheartening to watch it, but as you said, it is very interesting to look at it because which team comes on top, you never know. But right now, it feels like Willy's team can spot out Midfail's team as they are also rotating out from the play zone. We can see Midfail barely over there, but right now, Chiri, I'm not too sure why he's not patching himself up because he's barely surviving. Same goes for Midfail. He needs to patch himself up, but what will he patch himself up with? He has boosted himself up, but he just has bandages. So Midfail, he needs to make a run to the hills, needs to make a run to the edge of the circle. If he doesn't, he's going to be missing the opportunity. And with those decisions, you can see he's becoming very adventurous. And his motocross GP run did not go for long.
That rash driving from the side of midfield fiery. I'm so shocked. That Rocky Bhai wala bike has been down, and I think so. Now you can see HH. Vaadhi's team is coming in a fight against Team Lolz. That's a really good one. 4-on-4 head-to-head fight we'll be witnessing really soon. As you can see, there's a third party also going all around. I think so that will be the thing. Midfail Gaming YT. Midfail is just stuck in 4 of the players over there. Godl Lolz coming in a fight over there. 2 of the players has been picked up from the side of Vaadhi's team. And I think so, of course, Midfail YT has been also down just because of giving fine of that rash driving. He's been also picked out, and Team Ghatak is getting eliminated too.
Exactly. The traffic policeman over there was Sohail from Willy's team. He's going to be cutting a challan for Midfail, but right now it looks like Lol's team is going havoc on Vaadhiyaar's team. Maxi is down, and we know how crucial Maxi is. Maxi is the one along with Ace Black who provides cover, but it looks like both of them have been down. Ace Black is also down, and now it's all up to Vaadhi and also I think Carry. These 2 players need to survive and try to pull this back up, but it doesn't look like it's happening because Lolz, they are pushing from 2 different directions. Vaadhi is down now. It's all up to Carry, who's giving it a revive. Maxi is back in, but he has to patch himself up before he gets in the fight. But in the meantime, Spikey is rushing in, checking every corner around the trees, around the smokes. But Spikey also has been spotted from a different spot. But right now, they're not worried about that. Carry, he gets spotted from Lolz from a different direction. And this was the off-angle push coming in from Lolz. You saw, right? For 2 seconds, Lol kind of thought, wait, I shouldn't just rush straight up front into the team. He then took a buggy, moved in a different direction and got the advantage. But right now, look at this. It's Guru's team who have found Lol's team, and right now they're trying to rush them up. And if they do it right now, they're going to be having an advantage because see, 2 players were down. Bad Agent, he's been recovered, he's back, he's going to be patching himself up. Spike is also down, he should be brought back to life. In the meantime, Eagles team, they spotted Ruchir's squad, an immediate knock and finish on Balu. I mean, that was crucial for them because we have seen Balu also, right? Most of the time becomes one of the last surviving players for Ruchir's team, and they end up getting a lot of placement points.
Now here you go, in the second zone, you can see a lot of fights going all around, and you can see Godl Rebel's team is also coming in the fight, and I think so Rebels, where they are, we'll be having a look over there, but they are in front of us. You can see Khanat is getting picked off, and I think so this is time to push in. Team number 6, always team it's going to be, and I think so that's a really good situation to push in. Can get a pick as well, but yeah, you can go for the grenades and you can go for those Molotov as well, but he's going in and splashing in. He's just charging in all around. He's not stopping.
Oh no!
That's not the thing I was thinking about. You just need to do some of those grenades and spam of Molotovs and all, but yeah, coming in a 1v1 coming with a really good 1v2. What amazing performance! He's just popping all over. What astonishing 1v2 we are just witnessing from the side of Nikki.
This was unfortunate. Eagles team had everything under control, but what did they do? They gave 1v1 duels and making use of the TPP advantage. There, Nikki was just wide swinging every time and getting every player who was right now rushing towards her and made sure she delivered the bullets right to them and then sent them back home. And because of that, right now you can see Rebels team, they've kind of had a little bit of a breathing space that they've created for themselves. In the other side, where we did see Lol's team and Guru's team about to go head to head. In the meantime, Orion, he's been put down, because of which Guru's team, they've slowed down the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. I just need to quote one thing, Lucy. Look at the Lol's team having freaking 6 finishes in this. Like in the third zone. It's not even the start of the game, and now they're getting 3 finishes. They are so power packed right now, and I think so this is time to come back stronger, more even better. Uranex has been also picked out. Takes some of the startup shots and predictive sprays and shots to get connection in those smokes. But yeah, we all know that if you guys are taking some of those shots in the smoke, but yeah, from the back end, they were not ready for that. Which is the team that is going to be Hastar team coming in the third party. What a really good one. Spike has been down, a really good knockdown. They have to go for the instant smoke in. They have to go for the revival point, or else Lolz. Team Lolz is coming in a sad situation.
No, But look at this. What has happened? Adi also gets spotted. He thought he can be safely trying to take a fight and then more than happily he can do whatever he wants later on.
Yep.
But that's not going to be the case. And it's Maxtern's team. Hastar's team. It's Maxtern's team who's trying to pick a fight. But it's only Adi. I mean, it was a good move, but just imagine if along with Adi, there would have been many other players also from Maxtern's team who was providing him cover and taking the same fight. Maybe Lolz team would have had a tough time. But right now, just because it was Adi, Lolz have regrouped, they've patched themselves up, looking for the fight. They know who's the next team that they have to be worried about. Because of this, I would say chaos being started from Maxtern's Adi. You can see, right, Guru's team, they are nowhere to be seen. They got the opportunity to run away from this fight, disengage from this fight, and I don't think they're going to be coming back and picking a fight with this team. In the meantime, Midfail, after getting caught during rotation, his team is still surviving. But again, I would say they're barely surviving, and finally, about to be eliminated, Ash OP. He reaches inside the circle and will be happy about it. But AimGod gets spotted from Abrar, from Sharshee's team. Does try to connect or do something better, but it does not work out. In the meantime, Crow spots out Guru's team over there and wanted to do some damage on top of them. But we'll be waiting and watching if that happens or not. But in the meantime, Sharkshee's squad, they're holding the edges of the circle, not immediately picking up a fight. But yes, they have fights right alongside the border of the circles if they want to pick one.
Absolutely, if they want to pick one, but AimGod, right now, Midfield Mighty was the only person to get casualized in fight. In the fourth zone, you can see our top 13 teams surviving and fighting for the chicken dinner. But yep, now teams are just taking fight. This is not going like that teams were not taking some of those initial fights. We have seen in Erangel that teams were taking fights in the fifth zone, coming in the rotation clash in the fourth zone. Yeah, of course, map to map, all the strategies, all the era has been changed by the teams, and there's advantage also changed because, like, you know, Miramar is the game for the higher ridges, of course. And if you guys are having a higher ridge, you have a really good advantage. A better example, if you talk about Lucy, it is the day one matches where Team Vaadhi was taking a really good higher ridge and taking more than 16 finishes for their team, and that was a really good example for the higher ridge advantage in Miramar. But yeah, if you talk about Team Godl Rebel, what a good position into the zone. But yeah, it's time to get some more of those finishes and how they're going to retaliate and retreat that position from the others. Opponents.
I mean, I agree. Rebels team, the way they were able to come out from a fight, I'll be looking forward to what more they can do right as of now. But Sharshee's team, they're in such a position with a higher ground that they're able to spot out everybody around them. But in the meantime, Spiky gets spotted from Beast OP. This is going to be Vivone's team. We did talk about it, right? Vivone's team, they did have early casualties very early on, lost 3 players, but Beast OP is still surviving. And look at him doing the damage on Lolz player, gets Pad Agent down, looking forward to a lot more, gets Spiky's confirmation as well. In the meantime, Antaryami squad is also slamming into the edges of the circle, trying to get a control, but Eagle squad, they're being pressurized with mollies coming their way, grenades coming their way. They're just trying to buy time for themselves, but this slam coming in from Antaryami's team might be the end for Eagle's team.
Indeed, Pride Toast spotted this great taking some of those trades, but they were not equivalent to get a really good knockdown. Falcon has been also picked out. Vaadhiyaar is also getting all over. He's down with Antaryami with that M249, the generator of 5-point domination. They're just putting in. Someone over this after we spotted Antaryami coming with a really good 1v1 and jumping in and just knocking out and knocking off that player.
I mean, there was a chance to save Pro over there, but you saw what happened, right? I mean, there was a reload situation coming in for Pain, and he was in reload, but that time there's a player jumping from the roof trying to get the spray under control and control it and eliminate the player. And you saw Pain, as soon as the reload happened, he did try to eliminate the player who was jumping from the roof, but then he realized there's just too many players jumping on me. Let's just look for the finish point, and he took the finish and then got eliminated. But in the meantime, Ruchir's team is now having a fight with Lolz team. They're trying to do something in terms of damage, but will they be able to do a lot, or is it going to be Lolz team answering back? But in the meantime, we're still seeing Sharkshee's squad. They are picking the fights, right? They're doing the damage, they're getting the knocks, but it's another team completely slamming to that opponent and taking those finishes in their favor. So Sharkshee's squad still sitting with 0 finishes here in the 5th circle, and it's already past 20 minutes that we have to see how these teams will be able to function after this, because anyone having 0 finishes from here on in the 5th and the 6th circle, I'm a little bit worried from them. And the circle, it also just moved away from them.
Absolutely, BL Toxic, a really good name. toxic. But yeah, Beast 2 OP has been also picked out. Winter from the side of Godl Guru has been also picked out. That's a really good one. Scenario toxic. That wasn't good. Taking spray on the still person and not able to get a 10% damage. I think he need to be a bit patient over there. But if you talk about Sharkshee's team, three of the players are still surviving, and I think so they're having a really good ridge and dip over there. But that dip is not into the zone. It's time to find a really good position and a dip into the zone and just hide themselves.
Let's hope. But look at these blasts coming through. I think Alfama has picked Ruchir's squad while they were rotating in a vehicle. Not too sure if it's a buggy or some other vehicle, but with that they've done the damage, and Beast OP also gets eliminated. And I think with that Vivone's squad, as we saw the confirmation, they've been eliminated, done for at least on Miramar. But in the meantime we are seeing Kaztro's team as they're trying to push up, looking forward to do something better. They have one finish in their name, but they're a 3-player squad. On the other end, if they go for a 3-player squad fight, they might be able to do a lot. But right now I think Spy OP has spotted out Willy, who was trying to hide, and right now they're trying to push up. But in the meantime they've seen and heard a couple of sprays in the close quarters in the vicinity, and that's the reason they're immediately jumping close to a shack and figuring out what should be the next plan of action. But in the meantime, Guru's team, they're eliminating one after another players from Midfail, and I think this should be the end for Midfail's journey and Midfail's team as well. But in the meantime, Willy also makes sure that they finish off Kaztro's team. We just right now saw Kaztro's team that they'd spotted Willy out, but other way around him, it immediately changes that Willy's team, just like how they clutched their angle, they're going to be eliminating Kaztro's team.
Absolutely, Lolz. We have seen Lolz team from the third zone. They were having 6 finishes, and now they are on the same finishes count. But they're not able to get some of those picks and finishes. That's not the thing. But Nade and Antaryami has been also picked out from the Rebel team. That nade was really good, but Viper.
Very stolen.
Yeah, of course, that's what I was talking about from the right side. Viper OG coming over there and taking a really good pick from the Maxtern team, and they're also performing really good. What a astonishing performance. But Godl Rebel spotted the player behind the ridge, but there's one more team hiding behind. They're not having even a single clue of them, and I think so that is going to be something dangerous for them.
I mean, it is going to be deadly and dangerous, but Alpha Man also from Rebel's team is looking very dangerous. After getting 2 players out from Ruchir's team, you can see how confident they are. But Antaryami's team, they throw down a grenade, get a player knocked from Sharshee's squad. We did see on the finish field, but Max's team, after stealing that finish, they're looking forward to taking a lot more. But Abrar exchanges that grenade and throws it to Tribe on Antaryami's squad, and then gets a knock on that player. But right now, Maxtern team, they've lost Skater. They did have 3 finishes and a casualty. It's a little bit okay, but Nikki coming in and Nikki stealing this finish point. I mean, in Miramar it happens, especially in these last few circles when we end up seeing the 5th, 6th, 7th coming through. We end up seeing that many players are seen as they get knocked on, and some other team immediately grasp those finish points, and that's already happening here. Adi, a little bit too overextended from the position that he was in, gets knocked, and now Maxtern's team is having a very tough time in the same way. Crow's team is also having a tough time. Yatin, he's been knocked, but just because of the higher ridge and the, I would say, hill that they have under control, they should be good for that revive. But Crow also gets knocked. But in the meantime, Alfama throws down a molly. I mean, I'm not too sure what that molly was for, but nonetheless, she gets spotted out, and immediately a spray comes on top of her and does have a chance to immediately get back into cover. But in the meantime, you're seeing right, there's another team coming in. But look at this spray coming in, control from Crow's team. They're doing the damage on the Sharkshee squad. Skrills is also now down. Now it's all up to Abrar to pull this back from the death's hand, and he's trying to do the major chunk of damage. Sharkshee is still alive, but where is Sharkshee in between all this chaos happening? She's just in the back end. I think that's the call coming in, but this grenade should be the end for Skrills. Unfortunate over there, and also Abrar, he's been knocked. Now it's all up to Sharkshee. Sharkshee was just behind, unable to help out her team, and right now Sharkshee is getting spotted from a different player itself. It's going to be Toxic, and Toxic will be eliminating her, and with that, Sharkshee squad is done for.
Well, try Sharkshee and will try Abrar as well, because Solomon Survival over there, he did that 1v2 over there and took a really good 1v1 all aside. But yeah, of course, if your opponent is 4-man standing, of course you will be getting eliminated. Ishika team has been also eliminated. That's a really good one. Viper OG, that's a really good spray coming in, but he was surviving on the dot HP. That's why only one bullet connection was only purposeful for blind spy. And here you go, Max's team has been also eliminated. Top 4 teams in the 6th zone, and 8 players are still surviving. Lucy, let's just see who will be taking this winner chicken dinner, and who will be having a really good buff in the point tables and match number 2 of day number 2. Who will be winning the first Miramar? That will be the thing. But that grenade from the side of Spy was really good. If that was not overcooked, I really want to say that he'll be able to get a really good knockdown over there. But yeah, coming with some of those more grenades and utilities damage. Spy has been also spotted from the side of Toxic. Coming with the Godl, adjusting the scope on 6-6, taking those one shots on his leg side, but not able to find that knockout.
You can see right at this point of time, they understand this is one of those last few circles fights that's going to be happening, and also the top 4 teams standing. And that's the reason they're trying to figure out an advantage for themselves by just throwing down grenades. But I think Lolz now is eating so much damage from the play zone, should be eliminated very soon. Either from a squad, either from a player, or either by the play zone itself is what we are going to be seeing, the last player being eliminated from Lolz squad. But in the meantime, Williams is still in close quarters of Crow's team. But I think Crow should be the team which should get this chicken dinner here on Miramar, because the way they've been fighting, right? They've been just taking fights with everybody, having casualties themselves, but still able to retaliate, and that's what they've done now. Right now, it's going to be one player, Spy OP, who's been knocked. Now it's up to Williams. He was thinking about taking up again, making a run in the open, and Tiger has spotted. The spray does connect, the second spray coming through. Yes, a reload, an immediate connection on Williams, and that's the end for Kaztro.
You saw Yatin, he just finally found a pick. Like, you know, his team found a pick and he was just getting ready. He was just so hyped up and so pumped up and just tactically pushed onto the team and just getting a last pick. He was being from the side of ladies, but that could be the team of Team Antaryami. Let's just see if he'll be able to do the 1v4. But yeah, of course, it is going to be something difficult for him. Just 4 of the players are just pushing on him, and you know, he just need to find 4 of the players. Now look at that. 2 of the players pushing from the left side, 1 is coming from the center side, and 1 is coming from the right side. There's coming a lot of minutes. Trying to ban. No, if you did that, that's going to be so much humongous. Player falling in. Did he ban over there?
No. Before he could, his teammates eliminated. But nonetheless, what a brilliant chicken dinner coming here for Team Crow. I mean, playing from that ridge, right?
Yeah.
And holding it back to back. You saw they were being pushed. They were being fought from. Sharkshee squad was trying to deal damage to them. Then we did see Kaztro also throwing down a lot of grenades. We did see even, I think, Rebel's team trying to take a fight. But I thought Rebel's team, especially after how Alfama picked up a fight and took down 2 players from Ruchir's squad, I felt like their squad also has the chance of getting themselves a chicken dinner. But unfortunately, I don't know when the complete chaos shifted in a disastrous situation for Rebel's team where they got eliminated. I mean, even never got a chance because the fight after the 6th circle formed completely sped up.
Absolutely, like, you know, and there was something different. Like, if the maps are changing, your strategies are changing, your ways of playing are changing. Yeah, if you talk about a small example, if you guys are playing in Miramar, then yeah, of course you have to rotate from the vehicles. A long rotations is over there. If you talk about Sanok, you don't even need vehicles. You just, you know, go from, like, you know, by foot and just getting rotated into the zone. But yes, guys, this was the second match of league stages. We'll be heading towards a short break and we'll be coming back really soon.
Hi, this is Shankar Mahadevan. Welcome to my studio. For me, music is an ongoing journey, not only about singing and composing music, but it's also about learning every day. You know, inspiration, ideas, and melodies, they strike at the most undecided moments. Today, if I sit and say, hey, I'm going to create the most amazing tune over here, today may be the most horrible tune to compose, but you're stuck in the traffic jam, you're boarding a flight, and this melody suddenly comes to you. That is when you need technology to leverage that moment, because the faster it comes, the faster it goes. In today's day, you don't need 100 people to play everything together. They used to do that because of lack of technology. I'm working with international musicians and we record, you know, comfortably, and they are playing there, we are recording over here. You don't even lose one single KB of data. Performance is communication. A performer communicates to his audience with music. If you have a beautiful voice, it needs to be captured beautifully through technology. For me, technology is built for performance.
Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen. Get the latest gaming laptops powered by AMD Ryzen processors.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Skyesports Streamers Showdown presented by AMD, powered by Ruchir. My name is Lucifer, and along with me to Raid Stones, it's going to be Raider back here on the desk. We had an interesting Sandy Duni match of Miramar. Right now, we'll be jumping back to your angle, but I want to ask you, Raider, now you're back and you were sitting in the backlines and watching the map. What did you think about Miramar?
Well, it was very, very amazing. The way Crow actually overpowered every other team and got that winner chicken dinner. Well, it was very, very amazing, and it was a much needed winner chicken dinner from their end. Because Team Crow, I guess, apart from doing some tussles, apart from getting one or two finishes and all, they were unable to get anything in the first day of the league stage. But after that, well, we are going to witness a lot of carnage from that particular team, because obviously, if first or second matches are in your favor, I guess somewhere around the motivation boosters are going to play their role, and the element of surprise can be there from you in the next upcoming matches. But before that, let's dive into the match by standing, to be precise. It's day number 2, and match number 8 is going to be the thing which we are going to witness.
You can see the points table right as now. It's going to be Crow on top with 23 total points, 19 trailing behind. It's going to be Lolz, Antaryami with 14, Kaztro with 12, 11 with Maxtern Rebel having 8, Guru Gaming with 7, Ishika with 5, Midfail with 5 as well, Eagle Gaming with 4, and 3-3 each Willy and Vivone. Ruchir's team with just 1, but Vaadhiyaar, Ghatak and Mayur Gaming, these 3 squads got nothing. I mean, Ruchir's squad, unfortunate, they were caught in the hands of Team Rebel, where they were rotating, and with the vehicle going kaboom, they got eliminated. But you can see again, just like we saw in Erangel, at least the first 8 teams, right, they have got like good amount of points. I mean, especially the first 7 teams, look at the number of finishes. It's at par, getting closer to even the top team. And this tells you every team is out gunning each other, looking forward to those finish points. But again, we need to make sure that this picture comes in fruition, comes together in the overall standings. If this does not add up in the overall standings, and if you're left behind with 1 or 2 points just because you did not perform on day 1 match 1 Erangel, maybe on day 3 match 5 Miram Erangel you don't perform, and then you don't have points, then it's done for. You will not be qualified in the grand final. So every team, as they finish a map, they should immediately think about their overall standings as well.
See, apart from 1.5 lakh rupees of a prize pool in this league stage, one more thing which is very, very important is getting qualified in the overall standing, is getting qualified in the top tiers and be in the grand finale. Those top 16 teams are going to be welcome. But before that, let's talk about the overall standing after match number 8 in the Skyesports presented Streamer Showdown league stage. As you all can see, Team Willy is still on the top, reigning like a champion with 75 points, leading from Ghatak with 10 points against them, and Team Ghatak is here at runner position with 65 points. These 2 teams are maintaining their own consistent positions of hashtag 1 and 2. But if I talk about Team Antaryami, after yesterday's chicken dinner, this team is rising slowly but steadily. Yes, they are doing the jump.
I agree with you. And also, look at that. Rebel stationed in the position that they're in, they've not moved away, right? That tells you that they're doing a brilliant job. On the other end, this page is a little bit worrisome, because especially Vaadhiyaar and Kronten falling down, Midfail coming a little bit up because of his teammates, and Anto I mean, Anto is just falling apart one after another, one after another. Yesterday as well, later down the stages, there were a couple of good matches, but early on, just like today, Anto's team was failing in many matches. Castro's team trying to catch up, but from 13, 14, 15, and 16, these four spots are going to be very difficult to hold and grab onto to qualify into the grand finals, because you saw, right? 35 to 32, only a difference of 3 points from 13th point to the 16th position it was. So any team from the 17th to the 20th can have a chance to immediately jumping and catching over the tables.
Yeah, that could be the case, but eventually, if I talk about teams like Natasha Gaming, Maxtern, Sharkshee, well, these are the few teams which are pretty much narrowed, which have pretty much narrowed the gap between the top tier teams and eventually themselves, and they can easily climb the ladder. Before that, let's talk about the schedule. It's going to be a map of Irangal, and it is going to be between Group B and C. The fight is going to be between Group B and C. If we talk about a small recap, well, the first match was actually taken over by Willy Gaming, and after that, the second match was also taken by Team Crow. That was a recent match done and dusted, but after that, the third match might actually pan some new things, because in this one, Group B had a break, just like previous 3 days we were talking about a break. That break can easily pan you out a lot of things. That break can easily show that how you have actually utilized it and eventually came back in the fight. One more thing I would like to say, I'm worried about teams like Team Vivone, Joker Haveli, Ishika, and some other teams like that, because these are the few teams which were able to perform in the launch party, if I'm not wrong. But after that, what happens in the league stage where the stakes are much more higher, these teams are not showing their full strength.
I agree with you, but right now it's time to show strengths, get points. Now we are jumping back to your angle. We just finished off Miramar, so we want to give teams a little bit of breathing in fresh air, right? Because there's so much greenery, they can enjoy the extra amount of oxygen coming in. Maybe this extra amount of oxygen gives them an opportunity to clutch many more fights. But as you're talking about the map, there's also the flight path on our screens. We can see it starting from shooting range and ending towards Melta Power. So a north to a south diagonal flight path is what we are going to be seeing. But regions such as Quarry and Military Base are a little bit further away from this flight path. So I want to see which team makes the decision here, Raider, to jumping over there. But if you had a question of which groups are fighting, they're also in front of the screens. It's going to be Group B and C. But Raider, I have a question for you to start things off. What is your speculation on the circle?
Well, I guess this circle is going to be fairly a circle, fairly a center one. But let's see how the BGMI gods are going to play with us also, because today, nowadays, I guess the casters are not even getting favored by BGMI gods. They are actually playing their own game. But anyway, let's see how the teams are going to play with it, because if a circle is in the centers, I guess many teams are going to get favored. Yeah, if I talk about teams like Godl Rebel, they always will choose the Sharkshee compounds, even though if the zone is not going to be there, even though if the zone is going to be a southern one, then also Godl Rebel and her teammates are going to be there. If I talk about areas like 70, it is going to be pretty much occupied by some other teams. But eventually, the circle is not that in the center. But yeah, of course, a northern central circle is going to be seen, out of which I can say that fairly a lot of teams are pretty much getting blessed by the zone, and they are easily going to rotate in that circle, in that vicinity. They are going to loot for themselves and eventually gather some good utilities and put their utilities in a work where they can easily gain some points.
Let's see if they'll be getting points, because that's what, right? It all matters on Raider. The points which will help you qualify. We are seeing right now Kronten's team who are near the compounds of school. First and foremost, even without picking loot, they're getting vehicles. So if they have that, we say, right, situation that they have to run away from something, they at least have access to a vehicle. But in the meantime, we did see somebody being knocked out. Not too sure, I did not get the glimpse of it, but right now we are seeing the side of team Blind Psycho, and finally we get a confirmation, and that's none other than Antaryami's player Pride going very early on here in the matchup. So that's unfortunate that we are seeing, but it is bound to happen, right? But in the meantime, Blind Psycho's team, what can they do? They are also in the close compounds of another team. Can they initiate the fight, or will they be just looking forward to loot? What do you think, Raider?
I guess initiating the fight is not going to be the key point for that particular team. They're already a man short, and this should not be the call from the IHL. But on the other corner, if we talk about Antaryami squad, I don't know what they did, but they were way too scattered. Some members were in the shelter region, some members were in the shooting range areas, and one single guy was in the 70 area. So it was bound to happen. He was about to go down, and yes, that's what happened to the guy. You have to maintain your consistency. Apart from them, if we talk about this particular team, I was talking about Vivone in the leaderboard, and this guy is not being seen in the second page, not even in the second page. He's in the bottom 4, I guess, at this moment in terms of the leaderboard. And you all know that top 16 teams are going to show their faces in the grand finale. To be in that bracket, he has to perform, he has to pull down some more teams and eventually be in the top 16 performing teams, to be precise. But on the other corner, Pochinki area is looking sharp. The left area is pretty much occupied by the team number 12. And on the other corner, if we talk about Vivone, they are still slowly but slowly scavenging every single compounds that is on their way, and they are going to lose some more.
Ooh, this rush coming through. Okay, I got a little bit confused. Right now, we were just watching, I would say, blind Psycho as well as another squad right in front of them. I was like, where did the fight happen? None of them pushed. Then we actually see that it's going to be Vivone's team. But see, previously, as you were also mentioning, right, you were talking about Vivone's team. They're not having a good run. Their firepower is good, but they're unable to kind of work together, right? They're able to get those finishes here and there, but the placement points is not working. If they don't get finishes, then they just get placement points. So they're not able to grasp both the points simultaneously in a particular matchup. But here, right, just like we saw on Miramar, Vivone and his other two teammates also fell apart very early on. Under 4 minutes is where we ended up seeing Vivone's team losing 3 players. The last surviving player, Beast OP, got I think a couple of finishes before Miramar ended and before he himself got eliminated. Natasha Gaming's team, I mean, I still remember what Ninja did in the previous matchup here, Raider. He was the last surviving player. He was getting rushed from, I think, either from Blind Psycho's team or some other team. But right now, look at this. Vivone's team is not at all stopping. They found one player from Ruchir's squad and they said, let's just finish the entire squad. And they're just having fun. Look at them punching their way through and making sure Ruchir's squad is having a very tough situation just like they had, and now they're in the hunt mode. They're not even like just looking out for players, they're like hunting mode. It looks like they're sniffing out where the last few surviving players from Ruchir's squad are. And look at this, Ruchir trying to run away with the buggy. This spray coming in from Zen OP. I think he's done a lot of damage on the buggy, but nothing connected on Ruchir. Wait, I think the buggy is also clean. I thought maybe a tire would have been popped, but nothing has happened. Ruchir is just hitting that pedal to the metal and just running away without even thinking twice, without even thinking that he might hit a tree. He's just running. But Beast OP as well. This looks like an F1 race right now as they're going on a chase.
And it is not a chase, it is actually a bait. Look at that. Ruchir Place is actually coming up and circling around his teammate. I guess 18 eyes can easily pop him out. That could be the strategy, but no, he's not going to do that. Ruchir Place finally finds his gap and he's still running towards the Pochinki area. And Beast OP, look at that. He's constantly scavenging him. On the other corner, if we talk about Spower, he finally pops off. Yesterday's day was pretty much brilliant for Spower for the first match, but after that, Spower was unable to come back with the brilliant strategies that he has in the competitive scenario prior to everything else. But one thing I would like to say, Spower, now he's playing with Team 7C at this moment. The original OG lineup of 7C is here right now. Let's see how this situation is going to turn him out in the leaderboard. I guess he can easily be qualified because this lineup and this whole 4-man roster is absolutely one of those peak point competitive lineup type of thing. On the other corner, Spower is still hunting him. Ruchir Plays is still getting...
This is the second lap we are seeing right now. Yeah. And eventually we'll be jumping to the third as well, Raider. And let's see how long this race will be going. But wait, Ruchir, he does get spotted and also get eliminated. But look at what Ruchir has done. Vivone's team might have got the finishes, but they've come closer to S-Power's team, where S-Power's team, Sarang, immediately knocks Vivone. This is what I was worried about. S-Power's team, you know, once they like to take a fight, they don't stop. Now, Sarang is throwing down a grenade. Scream is trying to help Vivone out. And now, look, they have some sewers to have control of and also recover themselves. But look at this, Sarang going a little bit aggressive. Next to him in the compound, you saw who was there. It was Sniper, and Sniper is looking forward to the information. Vivone is back battle alive, but Beast OP in the meantime gets knocked by S-Power. And look at this, it's going to be Zen OP as well. Now it's only up to Scream. Vivone can patch himself up, but he's in the sewers. He's right now in a position where it's very difficult to survive, right? If there are grenades or mollies coming in, it will just flush him out. But in the meantime, 7C Prince, he gets knocked by, I think, Sniper. And look at that, as soon as Sniper does that from Blind Psycho's team, everybody jump inside the compound. But Sarang still keeps pushing in. Now it's only up to Zen OP. Or I think there's a different player, because Zen OP is also knocked, Beast OP is also knocked. So I think there's one last surviving player, but in the meantime, Sarang is just taking those finishes for himself. So it's all up to Scream right now. He just has a couple of weapons, where one weapon came into reload, that was an M4, calling in S-Power as well. Scream is right now hiding in the compound, but right now the grenade coming in will give them the clue.
Indeed, the team number 24, or should I say Team Crow, is also here right now. So obviously they can also put forth a lot of damage. If we talk about PB Scream, he's the last one standing for his team. He can either go for the survival mode, or he can choose to actually obliterate Team S-Power. Let's see how the situation will be carrying out for this particular team. But it is not going to be easy, that's for sure. But S-Power and his teammates are pretty much pinpointed, because Pranav is over there on the left side and Scream is actually hunting him from the north corner. So let's see how the whole situation will be carried out for S-Power and his teammates. I don't think so it's going to be an easy task for S-Power and Sarang to survive. But I guess these IGLs, these members are more than capable of actually handling that kind of situation. But in poaching ki vicinity, we have got 4 teams. Last man standing from Team Blind Psycho is also here. Shell by 006 has actually managed to put 1 down from team number 24. That is going to be Team Godl Crow's squad. But with this, Crow and his teammates already know that there is a man hunting from them from the shadows. So obviously they will be ready for him. Crow on the other corner is also trying to rotate. Spower finally, I guess, is going to get that vehicle, that Urus, and eventually drive it into the trench so that they can easily move up and drive it through.
Let's see if it's going to be working out right now. We'll be waiting and watching of how this eventually comes into a storyline, right? Whether Scream is going to be having a chance to get this 1v4 and get back that revenge. But again, making these small mistakes when you jump into a fight gets you under pressure and you start losing your control. But in the meantime, finish feed also, we saw Rebel's team taking on, I think this should be Hastar's team. And unfortunate, they've already started to lose players. Knocks coming through, which means there should be a finish also trailing back. But right now, you can see a squad coming through. It's going to be Scroll squad. Scream waiting for the right opportunity, but that was a bait. Look at the brilliant bait coming through, and Spower, he's back into the sewers. That was just one bait where he knew Scream or somebody, if anybody in close quarters, will point and will try to spray. And Sarang immediately connected those shots and eliminated the last player. But in the meantime, Spower's team, they've understood there is a squad near them. But Hastar's team, as we did see in the finish feed, were getting hammed on from Rebel's team. It exchange with one, but there are grenades coming their way, which is making even more damage, is giving the confirmations. One last player, and look at the way they're trying to rush. And Hastar, he's out in the open. He has been spotted, and I think it's going to be very difficult. They're trying to get control of stairs. I'm not too sure in the building if there is somebody, because they wiped everybody out. Oh wait, there is Ayush Rebel. Right now, Knock needs to get back inside the house, and yes, that's what happens. But immediately Ayush jumps down and gets to the bottom of the house. But in the meantime, Nikki has been spotted, I think, from Hastar. And yes, Hastar and Ayush, they're trying to make something work here. They're making to make it seem like bring it to a 2v2 situation, but Rebel's team, they're trying to bring things under control. Nikki with a brilliant spray as Hastar was taking a buggy, trying to run, connects the bullet. But look at the way Ayush is right now holding them back. A molly comes through which separates the players, and then a grenade coming through, but it does not connect. Kainat with a spray, but unable to connect. Ayush brilliant over there. Looking forward to the finish as well. Does get the finish now. Nikki and Rebel and the other players are just rushing in to eliminate the last surviving player, barely surviving over there, and finally do get to finish him off. But with the amount of noise that they've made, they've called in a different squad, and this team is going to be looking forward to take them down very soon. This is why we say you shouldn't give away a lot of noise. And Ishika's team, they're geared up, and this is right now when at least an equal fight, 3v3 situation.
Indeed, they are ready, they are jacked up, and they are pretty much pumped up to actually push onto that particular team. But I don't know what they're waiting for, because this is precisely the moment where you can easily push in. Godl Rebel is actually shaken at this moment. Their 2 members have been taken down, the utilities are not replenished, they're patching themselves, they're gaining some utilities, and this could be the moment where if Team Ishika players actually decides to push in, they can easily get the results. But finally, I guess they are back on the feed, Rebel, and I guess that could be Nikki, which is still surviving from the lobby from Team Rebel squad, to be precise. So that's a good one from their particular perspective. They have attained 4 finishes, but apart from them, they are also losing 2 good members from their team. That's going to be Kainat and Elfama. Both of these girls have actually done a decent job in terms of attaining some frags. If you talk about Kainat, she actually performed a very good fragging power. She threw some good nades onto the windows, and that is why she was able to actually create the opening. And from the back end, it's going to be team number 18 trying to push in, and this could be the moment where Mighty FFS or Doom both can be encircled, both can be taken down, because Mogambo, well, he has already decided that he's going to push onto the triple story.
But right now, I'm looking forward to how this is going to be working out. As you said, Alfama going down, but look at the brilliant grenade coming in from Rebel. Connects right on Mogambo, and now it's back to a 2v2 fight. I thought it was a 3v3, but Mighty FPS trying to push up with the buggy. The spray from Nikki does not connect. Rebel right now being spotted on the terrace. She gets back inside. In the meantime, they've had a chance to cross over, get inside the building, and Mogambo just might be recovered. They have to find a way and make sure that Mogambo is not coming back to life. But in the meantime, Mighty FPS, as he had crossed over, trying to throw some grenades and get things under control. But in the meantime, we are also seeing a couple of players in the finish feed, knock and finishes coming through. But this fight, it's getting a little bit slowed down, but Rebel's grenades are actually on point. But because it's a house, right? House has a couple of rooms, and they are able to kind of go into a different room and get Mogambo back to left. But Mighty FPS opens a door, which gives the clue that there might be somebody coming in. But look at the grenades being exchanged. Whose grenade is going to be better? Rebel managing to dodge that, and also same goes for Mighty FPS as he dodges the grenade.
I mean, all he had to do just to close, he had to do the closing the door, and that's what he did. And he was falling back very, very amazingly. But at this moment, if we talk about Mogambo, he's trying to find some gaps. Now, if we talk about Team Joker Haveli, they are about to go down. And yes, of course, Godl Rebel from Team Kronten, I guess, has been able to take him down. And just like that, Team Joker Haveli is once again down to dust, unable to do anything, unable to do a lot of damage in the lobby and make some noise in the lobby. That's how the game is going to go for them. Mighty FFF is constantly trying his level best to not give the position. Nikki is way too late. Nikki is constantly trying to put some good nades. She's way too late. She could be the earliest frag from Team Godl Rebel. Let's see how this situation goes up. If Rebel gives an opening, the team known as Ishika plays is not going to let it go that easily. They're obviously going to climb on that opening. But Nikki finally patches herself, and finally she's also trying to fall back to Rebel so that their team can regroup, so that their team can actually fight back once again. Well, Nikki with some good mollies are coming up, but then again, Rebel gets down with a beautiful nade at this moment, and finally Nikki decides that he is going to punch the revival button. And let's see how the revival is going to be possible, because a random number of nades are coming up. Nikki is still getting tagged out with the nade. Mighty FFS pushes in. Mogambo from the backside also comes to the cover. And finally, I guess Nikki is going to go down. And yes, with that, Team Godl Rebel is taken down. And Mogambo gets blessed with a nade from Rebelry Doom.
I mean, fortunately, after such a long fight, they're able to convert it. But it's okay. We'll jump into another fight. But for all our viewers who's wondering that as these fights are getting intense, we'll also be jumping into Router. So make sure you make the switch as well, because look at the intense action happening. You don't want to miss. Here, Raid was just crawling, trying to act as a bait over there, and does act as a bait, but also gives away the finish point to Natasha Gaming team. But look at the amount of grenades they're being pressured with. Now it's all up to Ninja, who's surviving along with Karthik. Can they do something brilliant? Aimbot jumps inside the house and he does not do anything. He instead eats a lot of those bullets, and now Abhibag trying to come in favor of the cover. Will there be something working out? But look at the grenade. If it connects, it's going in a different direction, but two grenades, a smoke and a grenade coming through, it might give them the wrong idea, and it does do the chip damage, but still not enough. Anto pushing in from a different direction. Ninja OP, the grenade connects. Now it's all up to Karthik, who's surrounded by a flame, and he does not know what to do, how to survive from this fight. He's trying to prop some smokes, and immediately as the flame disappears, he's going in, trying to go in for the revival. Karthik, as somebody tried to push up, he did do the damage, got that knock, but there was another player providing the cover fire, and Anto's team survives and they eliminate Natasha Gaming.
A small mistake was done by Anto, that he actually placed the nade right in the center where the team, his teammates Abhibag and AimGod was trying to push forward. So it could have been actually turned out quite ugly. But then again, the backup was there. Then again, the call out was made by Anto, and I guess the one guy falled back, and eventually the other guy got knocked out by the nade, and eventually the spray also comes up with a boon of his own. On the other corner, if we talk about this particular team, well, I guess Team Kaztro has to rack some seriousness and eventually gain some good points. Let's see how the connections are going to go on. 9 teams, 25 players are still surviving. This is the 4 zone, which is going to go down in just 16 seconds.
16 seconds. Let's see what's going to be happening. But again, and viewers, don't miss out this action. We are jumping right into rooted of the somewhere midway, and if that happens, which and you're not ready for it, you'll miss out the action. But again, for viewers wondering where the other languages are, it's all being streamed on Router. You're going to be finding Tamil over there, Malayalam as well. So make sure, in case you're wondering about the regional languages, it's all up on Router. But right now, we are also seeing that a couple of teams are being eliminated at the edges of the circle. There is one team, Ishika's team, who just finished off a fight. We did see the Rebels fight that we ended up seeing. They did convert it, and right now from Rozok they're coming up, but there as they're pushing up from Rozok, they're being spotted from Crow's team. And now Crow's team, it is the 3v3 situation, but who's going to be coming on top is what we have to look at.
Indeed, a 3v3 type of situation. Well, for the TDM perspective, I guess it could be an equalizer, but when you are in a competitive scenario, when you are in the map of Vaadhiyaar and the zone is actually going to crush you down, obviously the things are going to be different. But before that, let's talk about a knockout coming from Anto's angle, and Mohsin Nagat, an unconventional weapon to be used, has been used, and once again 7C Sarang was taken down. That is absolutely interesting. So Anto is actually hurting